1, 2, 3. Hello, my little stinkers. I am Tom.
I am Galen.
And we are your 15 minutes of FUME. Broadcasting live from Biden's America the week after the historic election. Haters can suck it. I feel like that's implied. We haven't gotten to record as much lately because we've been working so hard in production, but all that's going to change because we have so much coming out, and someone's got to tell you what it smells like.
Yeah.
You don't know. You read some words on the computer screen, and your brain's doing like robot noises trying to figure out what it all might smell like. I recognize that in some instances you are more dependent than ever for a first-hand account since lunacy events and so forth are no longer possible at the moment. We are here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
sure.
Showing off my nail polish. I bought this nail polish because it specifically looks like a nicotine stain. So if you see this is not like I'm not actually smoking, but this is my way of suggesting that it would be, understandable.
I would like to say that I did not encourage this. And in fact, Tom went back to the store and purchased it when I was not present. So
I smoked all the way home.
I was disappointed.
My long imaginary cigarettes. I smoked them all the way down to the nails. And then I smoked the nails.
We've all been there, haven't we?
It's been a long year. I digress. We are here today because last month, 6 years ago, the lab released a new set of perfume blends in collaboration with Sarah Elizabeth, the author of the new runaway success, incredible book, The Art of the Occult, a visual source book for the modern mystic. I almost went full Cindy Brady saying that. The modern mystic. So what this is a gorgeous, lavish art book that, it's not so much about occult instruction because there's like a zillion books out there that cover that. This is truly inspiration. It's, it's history. And there's a lot of actually really incredible contemporary art in here as well, which is super interesting to see the lineage and the progression of the way certain ideas are expressed throughout history. And you don't even have to be an occultist to appreciate this.
Yeah.
And I have to say, just, owning the book or buying perfume is not enough to condemn you to hell. You actually have to
put in the work.
You have to sign the Devil's Black Book. You have to put in the work. Thank you. So, it's a nice step toward
that one-way ticket.
Yeah, damnation. But but that also means that there's just not a lot to worry about if you're, curious. So we teamed up with Sarah Elizabeth to create perfumes, a new category called Ars Inspiratio, that is inspired by classical occult artworks. And the artworks, you can find them, in this book. But also, they've been around for, in many instances, hundreds of years, so it's not like you are relying on us or her as the gateway for them, We've just all made it very easy and nice smelling for you to, dip a pinky toe in. So, there are 5... Oh, shit, what was that? Did you invoke the spirit?
I think the window pane just shifted. That really scared me, though, because it reminded me of It Follows.
Why would it do that?
I don't know. Because it's, it's kind of a...
Hurls book out window.
Okay, sorry, we talked about the devil too much.
We're going to talk about Jesus perfumes, y'all.
One of my favorite Americans.
Oh my gosh, Liberty Bell.
Yes.
One of my favorite Americans, Jesus. Whew. pulse racing.
Really scared me. It's not the Babadook, which we watched last night.
I know, we also watched the Babadook last night, which is amazing. It shows you how at peace I am in my soul now, because I managed to fall asleep halfway through the Babadook, which is a movie
that
you
should
just,
not sleep during?
It's just like persistent screaming at various pitches and like loud crashing effects and creepy voices, and I was like,
and I was like,
yeah. You were awake for the whole thing.
Yes, and I managed to sleep afterwards and not have nightmares, which I don't know.
I always have nightmares. Weird. Have we not talked about one single perfume yet? Oh, that is so us. So,
maybe we should.
Without further ado, we will first introduce you to ALTARPIECE #1, Group X. Hilma of Clint, Hilma AF Clint.
She's Hilma AF.
She is Hilma AF. 1907. Beautiful rainbow pyramid ALTARPIECE artwork.
It is the cover image.
It's the cover image of this book, coincidentally enough.
Which is a stunning cover image.
How crazy is that? I pre-ordered this book when it was first announced because Sarah Elizabeth is a dear friend, and we have grown closer over the internet and throughout the pandemic times. And also, she's been an incredible supporter of BPAL, and her scent reviews on Haute Macabre have been just truly next level.
Yeah.
She really understands fragrance as well as she understands, I think, any art form, and goes on like a really intense private journey in terms of interpreting the fragrance, but also is able to access the artist or the creator's intentions also, and find a way to kind of like bridge that gap. And it's just exhilarating to read, and I was very excited to be able to make sure that the publishing of her book was marked with this incredible opportunity for her to keep writing scent reviews. She posted those over at Haute Macabre actually already this past week. We're late to the game, friends. But so you can go and read those. We'll share the link to that. And in the meantime, we're going to smell them live and see what the fuck they smell like. In the case of ALTARPIECE #1 by Hilma AF, it says, a prism of sacred frankincense refracting a golden amber light into a spectrum of daemonorops, draco. Oh, help me. If the window crashes when I say something like that, you know what's up. King mandarin, golden oud, verdant moss, blue tansy, indigo vegetal musk, and wild plum. Now, if you were paying attention, you would notice that the scent notes are color-coded to match the beautiful rainbow.
Beautiful AF.
The beautiful
Hilma AF.
Yes, exactly. So
sorry, we're doing this.
Very curious to smell this.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I love it when a scent. It doesn't happen often because for many reasons, chemical, personal, and otherwise. But when you smell something and the notes kind of hit you in the order that they're listed, that's not something that BPAL like really does. But in this instance, I smelled a prism of sacred frankincense, a golden amber, and then this spectrum of interesting notes.
We could Google to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that daemonorops is dragon's blood.
Yes.
Dragon's blood.
It is dragon's blood. The blood of the dragon, of the draco. So the orange, of course, the king mandarin is standing out, as it has a tendency of doing. Frequent viewers of the show know that I'm scared of oud, but it is like harmonized here. In the bottle, I can't really detect it very much.
It might be the good oud.
I love getting it's like a little moss, a little fruit, a little flower, a little herb, a little resin. It's kind of like a little of everything. It's a full chord. It's like fragrance is a pipe organ playing in a cathedral, and someone is just like leaning across the whole keyboard.
They passed out.
They were probably huffing too much frankincense.
Sleeping.
Oh, just delightful. All right, well, there's not much more I'll be able to tease apart in this until we try it on, so we'll do that next.
All right.
Next, we have the infamous Cersei Individua, which is this incredible painting of the aforementioned sorceress with her chalice of poison. And the scent description says, salt spray dotting an azure cove in waters swirling with noxious poisons and venom drawn from dreadful roots. A cascade of blackcurrant and crystalline blue-green waters, infused with theriac accord, bruised henbane accord, white gardenia, pear, cedarwood, emerald mosses, tuberose, and bitter almond.
Who has bruised the henbane? Which one of you did it?
Or did they bruise the henbane or just the accord?
Ah.
Did you squeeze the bottle too tightly? Did you grip the poison to the point where the poison itself was bruised? What I love from the description alone is that it is this like kind of lovely, light, feminine perfume that is like threaded with all of these poisonous and sinister elements. Also, we don't do a lot of pear, and I love being able to smell that note kind of rising out of the bottle. It's kind of like the pear supported on like a bouquet of light flowers, and then all sorts of creepy things kind of squirming and wriggling in the margins. There's like a bed of moss. The bitter almond takes it to kind of like it's like, I love the bitter almond note because it's kind of like comforting in a way, but then also the bitterness and then the association with poison. Oh, it's really interesting. Okay, and so this sounds insane because it's very different in concept, but it really reminds me a little bit of our perfume for the Last Unicorn, the actual Last Unicorn one, which was, I think, like coconut and like lettuce and other kind of interesting combinations that were delicate. I think that had like maybe orris also. Similar kind of like wispy, delicate, but there's something like earthy and murky.
Yeah.
She will poison you and then sit down across the breakfast table from you and watch you drink it. You know what I mean? It's lovely. This is the sorceress I think we all like have been mentally training to be from a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a yeah out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we're on to the Choir of Angels. That's that artwork that I showed earlier from the book. Hildegard von Bingen, 1151, 1152. I didn't read for Cersei. I didn't read that was by William Waterhouse, 1892. I was trying to credit the artist, just as Sarah Elizabeth insists is the correct protocol for such exercises in aesthetic appreciation.
You fucked up.
Jabbering in front of a camera, and there's a garbage truck. So what could we be expected to do?
Wait. Maybe yell at them? Did someone say yell?
This is why you learn witchcraft.
To put spells on garbage trucks.
Yes.
You dare not interrupt me
Zap, zap.
while I record a video.
So the Choirs of Angels perfume. And
come on, man.
Every time I open my mouth, it's just going to be until I am insane. A radiant blend of 3 frankincense oils. 3. White bergamot, crystallized cistus, lavender, angelica root, and fiery neroli. From the description, this is the one that I've been like...
Cistus?
There's other artwork that I find more inspiring, frankly, but this is the scent that I'm like convinced that I'm going to dive into.
Oh.
Maybe it's something about the frankincense plus the lavender. And neroli can be very overpowering, but there's not too much of it as far as I can tell so far right now. Maybe that will end up being all I can smell on the skin.
But it's got like the rooty quality, the resinous, the light florals.
It's very sacred. The frankincense really is making it a religious experience, but it goes in enough other kind of directions to where you're like, it's like you're just only passing as religious. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Sure.
The next artwork is The Wish by Theodore von Holst, 1840. An incense of candied smoked fruits, Oman frankincense, red oud, labdanum absolute, almost like Zoya the Destroyer there. Sheer vanilla, patchouli, red musk, osmanthus, red musk seed. osmanthus, and datura accord. I know. Oh,
Wow.
I know.
Well.
So these are all kind of like smoky and incensey and suggest like very old, weird rituals. Yes.
Yeah.
You're up to no good. There are, various supernatural entities that are assisting you in your dark mission. The woman in this artwork definitely looks like she's up to no good. Full Anna Biller, the Love Witch realness.
The Love Wish.
The Love Wish. Oh my god. You're hired. I love this. I'm not really getting I was worried about the candied smoked fruits right off the bat because, I don't know.
Like, what's that going to be like?
What have they done for me lately? But this is an appropriately witchy incense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a lightweight, She's got her clompy shoes on, and she is dancing widdershins around a fire, and she is going to get her wish. I'm curious to see if I can sense a little bitterness kind of on the tail end of the inhale, and I bet that's the datura,
and maybe the oud. I can smell the bitter.
These scent notes are all friends. I didn't get much of the vanilla, that's how sheer. We'll see. And last but certainly not least, we have our old friend, the witch/strega, which means witch. And this is a painting by Angelo Caroselli, 17th century. A rather mischievous-looking critter.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, leather-bound tomes and rose cream. Right
What?
there, I'm just like, shut the door. Flickering flames of twin ambers and a cascade of shadows. Black oud, teak wood, black beeswax, 13-year aged patchouli, cinnabar, balsam, sweet labdanum, tonka bean, and smoke. Did I spit? There's just like, I want to calm myself down because I don't really know what I'm in for here. But it sounds good. This is a strega that I would make friends with. Oh, okay.
Whoa.
So
I'm smelling that patchouli.
I'm getting beeswax.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard because it's smoky enough, and I'm getting the patchouli and the beeswax, and I'm sure the oud is there, but not at an intensity where it's dominating. It's just going to have to go on the skin because I need to see if I can get like leather-bound tomes and rose cream out of this because I want it so bad. You know that thing where you just want a perfume to be a certain thing so badly? And sometimes you get it, and other times you're just like, oh. You just keep putting it on, trying to will it to be the thing that you're actually chasing. None of you know anything about that, right? Anyway, this is divine. It is actually a little sweeter, I think, than the wish. That could be lots of things. It's the rose and even the leather maybe, and the amber and the beeswax, and the tonka, a lot of actually surprisingly sweet notes combining there. But of course, it is smoky and scratchy, resinous, creepy, and
dark.
I mean that as a compliment. If you're a witch and you smell too good, are you what are you doing? People should be a little bit afraid of brushing up against you in public transportation. And I mean, back in the times when that was actually possible for a witch. Now all the smart witches are staying home. So I guess there's nothing left to do except for put all of these on, describe them, and then get a headache.
Okay.
Let's go. Okay, ALTARPIECE, number 1, Group X. Prism, sacred frankincense, reflecting golden amber light into a spectrum of dragon's blood. King Mandarin, golden oud, verdant moss, blue tansy, indigo, vegetal musk, and wild plum. Sorry about closed captioning on that one. This really reminds me of a Twilight Alchemy Lab blend.
Aha.
It reminds me of the way that Elizabeth blends the Twilight Alchemy Lab ones, which are ingredients selected, for perfume, but also for a particular intent. And it's like a golden kind of glossy, shiny medley of magical herbs and flowers and fruits.
It just has a kind of sparkling quality to it.
It does.
That's like what I'm getting the most. And
it does.
It smells fresh, like, and clean.
But mysterious. And like it's like sacred, but it's like approachable. You know, it's not like, it doesn't have that off-putting, like, you know, body check quality that I know some of the occult blends do. And I love, though, because it kind of like translates the image of this like rainbow path into the sun. I mean, that's kind of like the idea, it turns out, for the scent, where all of these things kind of harmonize, and then like it lifts you up into this kind of golden cloud. And I didn't read Sarah Elizabeth's reviews yet because I didn't want to accidentally end up repeating anything that she had said. So it'll be interesting to go and see what she said. I do like, though, that there is a real interesting gradient of different tones, and I can see this being a tricky perfume for people who, for example, aren't interested in the floral component or whatever. Like, if you're only focused on a part of it, you may or may not end up really getting that. It kind of all comes together. Well, I feel calmer from smelling it. Maybe it's just all of the inhaling actual oxygen. I should have probably tried that before going on camera. But, all right. Moving on to Cersei Individiosa. This is the one with the salt spray and the pear, gardenia, cedar, mosses.
Hand gestures,
bitter almond, poison, blue-green waters. This is fascinating. It has like an aquatic tone, but it's not really like an overtly aquatic, mineralic sort of scent.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
It's there.
It's cool and deep.
I'm trying to think of what I'm getting because it's familiar to me.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's the kind of thing that might be normally a little too soft or sweet for me, except for like that cedar wood. It is right there providing an edge. It kind of reminds me of Tombstone that way. The cedar wood does the same thing in that vanilla blend, where it grounds it immediately. And then the pear is just a scent that I don't really get to indulge in a lot. Also, the black currant reminds me of the perfume that we did, one of the Shakespeare ones for, was it Marina? Yes. That was Sniffity. That was a blackberry wine with oud and wood and sea salt and everything. And it's comparable because I remember Beth saying at the time that she wanted to do something that was like reminiscent of the ocean, but that was not like an oceanic smell. And it's really, in that instance, she went for the color palette, which I think is really interesting and useful in a perfume series inspired by paintings, is to, instead of translating literally the image into scent, you instead go for like the color palette and the feeling and the emotions and just like interpret the painting through scent. I just love that it has these like dry spots, you know, and it has like a bit of sparkle, like it has like luster, but then like lots of shadows building out in like the henbane and the moss. But there's still kind of like a person at the center of it. You can smell this like
person.
It's like you can smell the perfume that she's wearing, which it's kind of a creepy meta layer to the overall perfume. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, when you say something that thorough and good, I'm just like, I mean, what else can I say? Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Next, we're going to the Choirs of Angels, which is that one with the kind of interesting mandala pattern made of angels. It was made like 900 years ago, and only now we're getting around to doing a perfume about it. Sorry we're late.
I know you've all been waiting.
3 frankincense oils, white bergamot, crystallized cistus, lavender, angelica root, fiery neroli.
Where'd it end up? Okay.
Oh, I have never smelled anything quite like this in my life. I was surprised by the rootiness of it.
It's kind of dry. I like that. Yeah.
It's kind of got a dry fire to it.
Yeah. I'm definitely smelling the frankincense.
It's got like a real kind of like life to it. Like it truly like an incense blend. But these other herbs and roots and flowers just like really provide like a glimmer.
Mm-hmm.
I've just never smelled anything quite like this before. This smells like an altar space.
Yeah. Your bundles of roots.
And just, things that would not normally be housed together.
Yes.
But it definitely smells like, this is going to sound weird, but it's giving me like, it smells like a barn. And I don't mean like a stinky manure-filled barn. I just mean like a kind of like dry, clean space that is, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's warm and it's dry and it's dark.
And has never housed any stinky animals.
No, but there might be like tractors in it. Or like evidence of witchcraft.
Uh-huh.
And the neroli, we'll see like in an hour or so, I guess, but this is like the most tempered neroli scent I have ever smelled. It's truly here just kind of like simmering on a hot plate in the background. What would you say is like the dominant part of it?
I think for me it's the frankincense.
Yeah.
And then...
But it's not overpowering me.
No, it's not overpowering, but it's like that's definitely what I'm getting the most. And then maybe... I'm not really sure what angelica root smells like, but I think I'm getting some kind of rooty.
Yes.
That might be adding to the dry root quality. I can kind of smell the lavender, but it's not like lavender heavy. It's...
The bergamot, lavender, and neroli together is giving me almost like a grapefruit edge.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's not a grapefruit. But it's kind of that like...
combining
but that like
those.
that bittersweet kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. It's like that thing when like you peel open a fruit and you can like a citrus and you can like smell this.
Like more like the rind.
Yes.
Than the cistus.
And I don't know what is cistus.
It's a little flower.
It's like a rock rose. Interesting. I don't know cistus from.
Cersei.
Hermes Trismegistus.
Oh.
All right. Well, I will be wearing that a lot in the coming times. I feel like this would be really good to wear while preparing to do large amounts of tarot card readings or any sort of ceremonial work. That's just really incredible. I really feel like it has like a banishing quality. All right. And now we are moving on to the wish. The wish, the love wish. This up to no good lady.
It's sort of sour.
I'm sure you're tracking the oud.
Uh-huh.
That's that red oud. I am getting like this, it's funny, it's like the vanilla and the smoked fruits, but it's not in like a kind of a cheerful Yule sense, like we might normally expect to find them.
Mm-hmm.
I love the musk. I'm like fishing for what I want to be the Datura Accord, but I'm not really sure what I'm getting there. An incense of candied smoked fruits is actually just like a great way to describe like the overall scent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's where like the sourness of the oud actually comes in handy,
mm-hmm.
is as like an enhancement to the fruits, so they don't instantly go all sweet and mushy and Bath and Body Works on you. What about the patchouli?
I'm not really getting it.
I'm definitely getting the red musk seed. I don't know the difference between that note and the red musk. It's definitely just a kind of like a beguiling, seductive, up to no good, like keep your wallet in an interior pocket because there are cut purses and charlatans. Also, this reminds me a little bit, that was much more honey-centric, but it reminds me a little bit of the Mommy Fortuna perfume from the last unicorn. That was like a very honey-laden version, but it was also kind of like sticky and dark and full of secrets. I do like that it has like a color palette that really reminds me of the painting where you've got these kind of like deep reds and pale pinks and such. In Sarah Elizabeth's notes for this scent, she says that she would like to help herself to the pearl-tipped hat pin that's in the painting. And I always mean to brag that I have several such pearl-tipped hat pins. And, you can try to get them if you want, but you better be armed with more than just a hat pin. Shall we move on to the Strega?
Mm-hmm.
Das Strega. All right, leather-bound tomes, and rose cream. Here we come. Wow. So we released these right before the Halloween collection, and I really thought of them as kind of like a preview of coming attractions, and in my mind they're kind of indistinguishable from the weenies because they're so magic and witchcraft focused. And this is like right in there. This is like some full-on, straight-up, old-time witchcraft perfume diablerie.
Yeah.
Anything standing out to you?
I'm getting those leather-bound tomes and beeswax for sure.
The beeswax is just like, it's dank. It's wonderful. It's not too patchouli intense. I'm definitely getting the balsam, which I think is like why the beeswax
the balsam.
seems in like particularly.
Yeah, I smelled the patchouli way more in the bottle. I'm not smelling it as much. Yeah.
I love the ambers. I love like a dark, dirty amber. That's what the last year of perfume smelling has taught me. Often when this happens, I end up just being very intrigued. Ooh. It's a plane.
It's like seriously someone just like blew out all their beeswax candles in their little altar space.
Yeah, in their stuffy little witchcraft hidey hole.
Yeah, that's filled with old books.
Right.
Like, and that is what this smells like.
I'm not so much getting the rose cream per se. It's not,
I'm not
but
either.
I mean, to be honest, I've been spoiled by perfumes where that's like a really dominant note, and if it's just hanging out in the background, like creaming things up, then I can't be mad. And maybe in like 45 minutes, it will be like a lovely shine kind of left over. It's really hard to say. There's just some like boss ass bitch like scent notes in here that are not yielding space or time to the likes of rose cream.
I think this is my favorite of the batch.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really something.
I'm a sucker for our beeswax note, but this smells great. Similar, if those of you are familiar with the Quintessence of Dust from Only Lovers Left Alive, it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
There's like the leather books and the parchment.
I'm getting the cinnabar. That's fascinating. It's just got, it's like dark and spicy and smoky and rich. And then you look at the facial expression of the person in the artwork and you're just like, as seductive as this is, I can't trust this person any farther than I can throw them.
Mm-hmm.
And they frankly look like they might be difficult to throw, like they might like squirm and twist about quite a lot. So the perfume is probably the safest you can count on being in this situation. I would leave the witch/strega to their mischief and just make your own mischief at home. All right, so that's your favorite. I'm gonna,
along with the Hilma AF, which are just like, they're very different.
The ALTARPIECE is even more so doing that Twilight Alchemy Lab thing to me, just kind of recapping.
Yeah. It's just magical. Sparkly.
Cersei is just like, the bitter almond is coming out in a way that I really love, and the kind of like sweetness is wearing off, and you're kind of just left with this kind of middle range of strange, intoxicating brew and plants. Choirs of Angels, you got lots of your frankincense. I'm getting more of the bergamot.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Wish, it's getting a little fruitier and more vanilla-y.
The Wish is too intense on me.
Let me smell it on you.
I'm just like kind of, I don't know.
It's playful. It's darkly playful. It's a very fancy lady. And then the Strega over here. What a journey.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've reached the point of like speechlessness that is assisted by inhaling so constantly that I've basically hyperventilated and become lightheaded. So this would be a great time to astrally project, I think. But we would prefer to do that.
You want to try it on camera?
We'd prefer to do it off camera.
Oh.
It's personal. Your practice is personal. I know that that's not a popular sentiment among the witch talk population, but you'll see. Anyway, one more round of congratulations to Sarah Elizabeth for this incredible book, which I have kept close at hand ever since it arrived in the mail. It's just been every time I open it, I find a new thing. It's the kind of book that will entertain me for years because you flip through, you think like, okay. There's also lots of great stuff to read in here, and the commentary really helps knit it all together. Like, it shows the continuity. So, just bravo, well done. It's unclear if we're going to be able to expand this collection as time goes on. I would love that, because these are just some of the best work we've done in a while. So, Ars Inspiratio, we will include the link. Thank you all for sticking with us through the past grueling week of election and chaos, and now we return you to your previously scheduled chaos, now in progress. Tom Galen, signing off.